I think this is working. I think this is working. Okay. Hi, I'm Elena Long. I'm going to be showing you my outline and stuff for the final essay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is my outline. Starting with my primary question: does worthlessness exist in nature? So in my introduction, I was planning on, drawing from multiple sources, as it says here, ranging from theory papers to philosophy papers that we've obviously gone over in class, to help explore the question and answer and look at the different viewpoints of the question, does worthlessness exist in nature? And then I have a couple other smaller questions that I call sub-questions that I kind of will be addressing at the same time, kind of just like sub-questions to the main question. As you can see here, is value ambiguous? And do humans truly decide what in nature has worth? And then I was planning on addressing what Leopold believes, what we can gather from, like, that we can gather that from Sand County Almanac. And yeah, just what he believes. And then touching again, like, just because Leopold believes that doesn't mean that it's true. Because that's his opinion. Because going on through the paper, I will be addressing different viewpoints and, seeing what other sides of that argument can be addressed. And then section 1, I was planning on breaking down Leopold's argument further, and then introducing where Leopold mentions that humans partake in the conqueror mindset. And then kind of I have some information down here of just explaining what conqueror mindset is, and how that kind of defines a lot of humankind's relationship to nature. And obviously through that relationship, value and worth is derived for many people. So the belief of the conqueror mindset, you can see here, I put is that nature is used for economic gain and industrialization. And also the statement that we are slaves to our property. That is based off of Thoreau, and he touches that in regards to the railroad. It's like the constant push to further ourselves. It's like there's no personal, you're not pushing yourself to personally be better, you just are worried about externalities and economic gain and things like that. And then in section 2, I was going to go into focusing more on like how does value, where does value come from in nature itself. And then I have in here John Muir's in Yosemite focuses on aesthetics. He lists specifically aesthetics in his appreciation for Yosemite itself. And then I have this here, moral values grow from aesthetic values. And then this author, I have that he fought hard to have Yosemite protected by national park status, because to him, value comes from aesthetic beauty. In a sense, obviously I get the feeling that he believes in more than just that. But, yeah, he does let on that values can be derived from aesthetic value. And then I have here that Thoreau suggests that all things have meaning. We just have to be open to perceiving that meaning. And then in Walden, where I lived and what I lived for, you have the mosquito that gave him malaria. he says even that, I mean, despite it just being a mosquito, like what kind of meaning does a mosquito have in this life? Even though it gave him malaria, he still expresses that even then it has meaning. And then I have a little piece of my own opinion in here on kind of addressing the main question of does worthlessness exist in nature? And I said humans need nature, it doesn't need us. It was here long before we were, and we would not be able to survive without us. Where nature lives better without us imposing on it. Nature would be far better off, in my opinion, if we weren't interfering with it at all. Whereas if we didn't have the resources that we do in the ecosystem services that are derived naturally from nature around us, we would have nothing. We would not be able to survive at all. And I also have at the very end a very small little point that I will be going into farther, like in my actual paper, but it's all of humankind's impact on the earth will be taken back over by nature again eventually. And I feel like one example that we can just throw out there, or that I will probably throw out there in my paper, is that, you know, with all of the malls that were kind of built and like after industrialization started and people were able to like actually go out and spend money after World War II and stuff like that. Obviously shopping malls were kind of built and stuff, but now we're seeing a lot of them close down and go out of business. And you'll see like shopping malls that have been closed for like 10, 20 years, and they'll have like trees growing through the middle of them and like vines growing up all through the inside. I think, I mean, even though I mean this I mean this both in a literal sense and a theoretical sense of that, like all of humankind's impact, no matter what it is, whether it's physical or not, the earth, like all impacts we make on earth will be taken back over by nature again eventually. And then for section 3, I was planning on focusing on religion and addressing kind of a couple different religions because obviously they all believe in different things. So starting off with Christianity, I said a Christian standpoint says that God made everything for us, and that would make it seem like nature has no value without us because the world is for us. And then we have Native American culture with like everything has a purpose. Every animal that is killed has every part of it used. Their culture is very focused around earth, and their spirits are represented by animals and stuff like that. And then, oh, here it is. They believe that nature has intrinsic value. And then I also address Buddhism, to where in Buddhism, the Buddha himself was said to have sacrificed himself for a starving tiger. Obviously, like he would have rather sacrificed himself to save an animal. And also, a lot of Buddhists are vegans and vegetarians. One of the goals in establishing enlightenment and on your way, one of the last stages is finding compassion for all beings. Because no matter how small, they believe that everything has value and worth. All living things do. In my conclusion, I kind of touch on like how we perceive things to be, like a perfectly balanced ecosystem. We perceive it to be a self-sustaining and self-regulated ecosystem, and it doesn't need any intervention. The animals don't take more than they need. Everything kind of works in harmony. And then when an ecosystem is found out of balance, it's considered something that needs to be fixed, implying that ecosystems are naturally meant to be balanced, that their correct state is a balanced one. And then I go into how human interaction and use of ecosystems inherently harms them. And this suggests that nature was not made to serve humans, as humans actively destroy nature by using it. And then I kind of go back to the part where animals take only what they need, whereas humans take more than what they need. We just take, and take. And this also suggests that nature has value outside of human existence. No matter how small, everything in nature is used for something. And without everything that exists, the world would be different than what it is today. And then it's impossible for matter to be completely destroyed. So everything that was here or is still here, that's anything that's ever existed within the universe, any matter that existed at any point in time, that matter still exists today. So it's like everything that has been here was meant to be here and will always be here. Everything will continue, everything has a purpose and will continue to have a purpose. And I kind of finish it off with a opinion piece. I feel like it's gonna be argued well throughout the essay. I'm gonna do my best to argue it well throughout the essay with the supporting papers and everything like that, and also addressing opposite arguments, obviously. But I ended off with value or worth is not up for interpretation, and nature intrinsically has value whether humans are alive to witness it or not. So, I mean, not to spoil my essay, but that is how I'm planning on ending it. And yeah, obviously I have to throw in some things from complexity and the law courses. I won't forget those things. And yeah, that is my final essay outline. And yeah.